In order to push more power to the battery pack, there are two main constraints to look at. First is the capability of onboard charger to convert AC supply into required DC levels. Factors like weight, space, and overall cost of the vehicle limit the power that can be supplied to the vehicle. Second is the capability of battery pack. Factors like cell quality, cell chemistry, thermal management dictates the capability of battery pack to absorb charge at higher rates. The popular Tesla with battery size of 100 kWh claims to be charged up to 80% in just 30 minutes. This implies that the battery pack is capable to handle such high charging rates if designed appropriately. Let's see how we can overcome the limitations of onboard charger. We know that the battery stores electricity as DC power. In order to overcome the limitations of onboard charger, such as a limited space, weight, and overall cost of the vehicle, the best way is to take onboard charger outside of the vehicle and directly supply DC power to the battery pack. This enables us to supply higher power to the battery pack without adding cost to the vehicle. Such charging method is known as off-board charging or DC charging. Fast DC charger, as per name suggests, have primary objective to achieve faster charging rates. The basic process of charging is remains same as we discussed about 3.3 kW home charging. Due to higher power operation in the case of DC fast charging, the size of AC to DC converter, DC to DC converter, power control circuits become larger and also cost is expensive. Heavy gauge wires are required to handle such high amount of currents. This is the reason fast DC chargers are implemented outside of the vehicle, not inside. To put things in perspective, in terms of cost, a 50 kW fast DC charger would cost around 20 lakh rupees. A 22 kW 3-phase AC charger will cost around 1.2 lakh rupees. 3.3 kW single phase AC charger would cost around 30,000 rupees.
Now let's say we want to set up fast DC charger. If you recall, in order to shift from single phase AC charging to 3-phase AC charging, we needed to upgrade the electrical infrastructure. What could be the infrastructure requirement for such high power uses? Now obviously, we would not intend to set up fast DC charger at our home for single vehicle. It will have a commercial purpose. The first thing you will need is to get 250 kVA power line, and subsequent the substation needs to install with all safety components. What is 250 kVA? 2,50,000 volts at 1 ampere. Why such high voltage and low current? This is done for efficient transportation of power over long distances. The lower current facilitates lower heat loss and other complications. Transformers are deployed at end-use locations to step down voltage and increase current as per requirement. This 250 kVA power line makes you capable of handling 250 kW. This means you are capable of charging 5 electric vehicles at 50 kW rating. The process of converting 440 volt 3-phase AC supply coming from substation to require DC supply remains pretty similar as we discussed earlier.
Let us see the charging profile of fast DC charging. Recall the discussion we had while to understand CCCV charging protocol. For fast DC charging, various variants of CCCV charging has been developed. The most widely used method is multi-stage CCCV charging protocol. During fast DC charging, a large amount of current flows through the battery, leading to cell degradation. To avoid heat generation, lithium plating, reduce mechanical stresses, the constant current CC phase is split into multiple stages. The cell is charged at highest current in lower SOC range. The current is then subsequently stepped down. After around 80% of SOC, it gets to the constant voltage phase and the current declines steeply. Experimental results verify that this procedure is useful for avoiding considerable temperature rise and extended the cycle life of the battery. This implies that even though the vehicle plugged into 50 kW charging station, it is not always charging at 50 kW throughout the charging cycle. This charging profile varies from vehicle to vehicle depending upon how its charging algorithm are designed. There can be 2, 3 or more steps
depending on size of the battery pack and cell chemistry. Now let's say you want to drive your Nexon EV from Chennai to Bangalore, which is around 350 kilometers by road. The claim range of Tata Nexon is 312 kilometers on a full charge. In realistic urban driving conditions, the expected range would be around 200 kilometers. Here is an important phenomenon comes into play. EVs tend to be little more efficient in terms of kilometers per kilowatt hour in city driving condition than on highways. Rishikesh will elaborate more why this happens. This means in highway driving condition, we can expect around 180 kilometers on a full charge. To complete this journey, we will need at least one charging stop. This could be somewhere around Vellore, 150 km from Chennai, where the battery SOC might be around 20%. Let's say if we AC charge it at 3.3 kW, it will take around 8 hours to charge the vehicle up to 100%. This will extend the time to travel around 14 hours. It makes no sense to use an EV or petrol or diesel vehicle which can complete this journey in just 6 hours. Here is the fast DC charger comes to rescue. Tata Nexon is capable of fast charging at 25 kW speed. A 25 kW fast DC charger can charge the battery up to 80% SOC in just 1 hour, cutting down the time to travel around 7 hours. This is why DC charging is an essential element of the ecosystem in order to make EV viable for all users. In India, as per Bharat EV specs, fast DC charger at output voltage of 48 volt to 72 volt with power output of 10 kW to 15 kW with maximum current up to 200 ampere are classified as level 1 DC chargers. Public DC charger at output voltage up to 1000 volt with power output of 30 kW to 150 kW are classified as level 2 DC chargers. DC supercharger can deliver up to 350 kW of power for rapid charging of vehicle with large battery pack of 100 kWh, like the Tesla Model S. The Tesla supercharger network in United States is an inspiration to the world for EV adoption. But the fast charging power cannot be increased infinitely. With all the benefits that our DC fast charging offer, there are some limitations as well. First is heat generation. High current supply to the battery pack generates heat due to internal resistance of the battery cells. It is mainly dependent on the cell chemistry and internal construction of a cell. The heat loss is represented as I square R. This says that losses become 4 times every time current is doubled. At higher current levels, these cells act as a resistor and energy is lost as a heat. This heat generated in battery pack leads to loss of active materials. Thus, frequent use of fast DC charging stresses the battery pack and results in degradation of cell life. Second is C-rate limitation. We know that charge and discharge of lithium-ion battery is an electrochemical reaction aided by mass transfer of lithium ions through the electrolyte. If we exceed the current more than certain limit, the electrolytes start to decompose. To ensure the integrity of cell, we limit the charging rate below 1C. In case of Tata Nexon EV, battery pack voltage is 320 volts. Total capacity of battery pack is 30.2 kWh. So, 30,200 watt hours divided by 320 volt gives us 95 ampere hour. When we say we have to make sure charge rate is below 1C, we have to supply power less than 30.2 kWh or current below 95 ampere at 320 volts. We know that fast charging time of Nexon from 0 to 80% is 1 hour. 80% of a 30 kW battery pack is 24 kWh. So we have to supply 24 kW of energy in 1 hour, which is less than 1C rating of overall battery pack. Let's take a look of famous Tesla supercharging. Max peak power of 250 kW is pushed into battery pack just for 5 minutes in window of battery SOC of 50 to 20% and then rest of charging process power supply charger decrease gradually. Here is the better thermal management, charging algorithms and upgrades in battery chemistry have enabled us to charging rate more than 1C. Third is SOC limitation. Fast charging a battery pack can only be done until SOC levels of 70 to 80%. This is because of fast charging creates lag between voltage and state of charge. Recall the CCCV discussion. Hence, Fast charging is done only in the CC region of the battery pack, and after that, charging power is gradually reduced to the CV region of the battery pack. Fourth is cable thickness. The connecting wires from EV AC to the car needed to be lightweight and flexible enough to conveniently carry and plug into EV. With higher charging powers, thicker and thicker cables are needed to be used, else it will heat up due to the losses. DC fast charging system today can transmit up to charging currents of 250 ampere without needing a cooling mechanism. To go about 250 ampere, the charging cables would become too heavy and less flexible for uses. In the future, the solution for using of thinner cables with cooling system, built-in thermal management to ensure cables don't heat up. Fifth point is the ambient temperature. Lithium-ion cells needs to be in ambient operational range of 15 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius. In extreme hot and extreme cold climate regions, while fast charging, the battery pack has to be expend more energy to maintain the cell in ambient temperature. Hence, more energy is required to reach 100% SOC and charging time is increased. Hence, fast DC charging duration have some sort of variations. Until now, we have studied different ways to speed the charging of electric vehicles. In case of charging, one important consideration is that vehicle provider might not always be charger provider, meaning at a commercial charging station from different brand will come to charge and there need to be some standard to place identify connectors. In the next chapter, we will discuss charging connectors.